And we're live. Detective arriving on the scene. Get the old continue. Get Twitch chat going. Let's play some Disco Elysium. If my voice sounds a little clipped and I sound a little tired, I was cooking. And while I enjoy cooking, it does tend to put me in something of a stressed out kind of state. Wish it didn't, but it's sort of a series of things you can get wrong in quick sequence, and that tends to stress me out. Oh. Harry Dubois is looking good tonight, folks. Look at that. Look at that style. Crowbar in one hand, wrench in the other, big dishwashing gloves, green visor. The man looks good. Who's that? Shit, ain't nothing to me. Fair enough. Alright. Because I bought that visor, I am now kind of low on money, which will be an issue, given that it's already 1 in the afternoon, and I'm not going to be doing anything real money-related for a bit. On account of, we're going to do an autopsy. It is finally time to get a good look at this dead guy, and then talk to these jerks. But we're not going to talk to them until we have some answers from the body. Oh, we can tell Lita, though, that, ooh, can I go get that money? Or will I get in trouble if I... Will that start the conversation if I walk in there and take that money? Alright, 50 cents. Let's talk to Lita real fast. Tell her that we have a theory about where her husband probably is.
Oh, hello, dear. I didn't notice you at first.
She smiles up at you distractedly. The water lock on the canal is broken, so your husband's probably just stuck on the other side of the coast.
Oh, my. What happened to the water lock?
Probably just some technical problem.
Well, whatever the cause, I'm thankful. To both of you. You've spared me another sleepless night.
I'm gonna eat a Tums, but they're the yogurty Tums that are basically candy. Candy Tums. It's basically a big Skittle that settles a upset tummy.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I hate to ask, but if your investigation takes you to the other side of the coast, please do keep an eye out for my husband. And if you see him, let him know Lena is waiting for him here at the Whirling. He gets so tangled up in his work that he may not know the water lock's been repaired. And it's cold out there.
It's cold out there every morning. Right, that was like a Groundhog Day joke.
Oh, you're such a dear. Thank you, sweetie.
She's a sweetheart. Let's talk to the cook about this special borscht I've been hearing so much about. Do you know what's beyond that door? He looks at you, then looks away quickly, shrugging and muttering something to himself. Shrugging is an international sign for, no, I don't know what's behind that door. Hey, Vin. Leo said you're friends with Manana. Is that true? The mention of Manana gets his attention. He smiles and delivers a whole slew of unfamiliar words and lively gestures. Then he falls silent again. They're friends. What is in that borscht you're making there? The man says a couple of sentences in that strange language of his, and then seems to wait for you to speak. Yes.
Horse need more vodka?
He picks up a bottle from the shelf.
Okay, so it's vodka that keeps the men happy and in good spirits. Clever move by the Union.
Vodka borscht! I love it, Bratan! Turn it the fuck up and then ask for some yourself!
Oh, horrific necktie. Turning it up seems like a dangerous idea, honestly. The place is a powder keg. The cook gives you a long, disappointed look, then turns the stove off and seems to wait for you to speak. I don't think I need anything else. Stay masculine. Alright. Let's go look at the dead man. This game has a really good soundtrack. Alright. Oh, I guess I've never actually looked at the gate. Might not have had the perception for it before. You see a set of tire tracks in the brown slush that covers the plaza mosaic. Why am I looking at this? Cop habit. You look at everything. This isn't case related, do you think? What kind of vehicle drove through here? Hard to say. Visual calculus. Reconstruct the movement. Failed. No, these tracks are not interesting at all. Let the street sweeper just sweep them away. Alright, we're going to be using all of our brains here, so let's go ahead and... Do I have... Yeah, I have some cigarettes. We're going to take some have a cigarette to get our brain working a little bit better. And then clothes-wise, let's see. Alright, most of these are not going to matter. Do I have any negatives going on? I have a negative to drama, that's fine. Negative suggestion. Savoir-faire always sucks, but for the most part, I'm okay with how we're doing. Alright, let's smoke a cigarette. Or do I still have one going? I can't still have one going, right? Is there a specific button I need to hit? I assumed that... all of my intellect should be heightened right now, but it's not. Let's try putting it in the other hand. See if that works a little better. Nope, that just... I never used substances in the first one, in my first playthrough, so... You gotta right-click on the number. Well, now it's gone completely from my inventory. I've ruined everything. There we go, and then right-click. Might be time to ask my good friend, Mr. G. Oogle. Oh wait, there we go, there we go. It lit up, it lit up, it lit up. It's lighting up, it's very touchy. Cigarette smoked! Smoking lady on the roof. Hey, Kuno.
You missed a good show before. A kid came by and completely fucked the tree to pieces.
He fucked the tree up! Fucked it good! It was porno!
By the way, kipped is a racial slur. Stop using the K word. It belongs in the past.
Can't tell Kuno what words to use? Fucking kipped.
What is this, a word museum? You want to belong to a museum, Kuno? With the old people?
Fuck you. Kuno says kipped if he wants to. Kuno's dad says kipped all the time. Kipped's a cool word.
Kipped, kipped, kippity, kippty, kipped. Kippity, kipped, 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 kipped.
It's like a little engine has come alive on the other side of the fence. An engine that only says that word.
Kipped. Alright. Shut it down, see. The cunt has business to do.
Empathy, legendary 14. Figure out what's going on with this kid. Oof.
The fuck about it?
Where's the rest of his armor?
Kuno doesn't give a shit about the armor.
How come?
Kuno's fuck gimp's got one big thing wrong with him. He's a fucking mutant.
A mutant?
Look at him. Fucking growth hormone shit. He's a giant. The armor's too big for any man. Kuno doesn't give a shit about that freak armor. Kuno threw that shit away.
Oh, come on. He's just pretending he doesn't care because he's too small for the armor. You're just too small for the armor.
Get the fuck out of here trying to fuck on me with that midget shit. Kuno's 12. He's huge. What are you? Fucking 80. When Kuno's 80, Kuno can fit 4 of you in Kuno. Fuck out of here.
Trying to fuck on Kuno. Fuck out of here.
What do you mean you threw it away?
Kuno tried to get the helmet on. It was too big.
He performs a kickoff on the imaginary helmet.
Kuno kicked that shit in the sea, rugby style. That shit means nothing to Kuno.
You threw it in the sea?
Yeah, that shit means nothing to Kuno. Kuno doesn't give a shit about material shit. Kuno's a fucking monk. You wanna fuck on someone about that armor? Go fuck the mustached union fuck. The jolly troubadour shit at the gates.
Who do you mean troubadour?
Yeah, cock and boot. You know that jolly union cow fucker? Came around talking about cows or some shit. Came around pretending like he cares about cows. So yeah, he's the one you want to talk to. He's fucking crazy about that armor shit. Coming here pretending like he likes cows. Trying to catch a peep at Kuno's armor. Go to the gate. Ask him yourself.
Yes, this troubadour has it. You can feel it. There are contusions all over his body. Did you do that?
Fuck are you talking about? What is this contusion shit?
He grabs his head like it's suddenly hurting.
He says you're stupid, Kuno. They want to make you stupid again.
A contusion is a bruise. I'm talking about the marks your stones left on the corpse.
Oh, did Kuno make your shit sniffing harder? Obstruction of shit sniffing? This is Kuno's kingdom. Kuno fucking rules here.
You hear the lieutenant hum. More on this later. Right now, let's talk about something else.
You're testing Kuno's patience here.
Cows.
Get lost.
I have more questions about the crime scene.
Yeah? The kingdom of Kuno? The fuck do you want with it?
The dead man's clothes were in the trash container. How'd they get there?
Yeah, Kuno doesn't know shit about that. That shit is beneath Kuno.
I need to know. It could be a lead in the investigation. Someone may have tampered with the murder scene.
Listen, listen. Kuno doesn't care about this small-time shit. Just listen. Kuno saw what you did there, dumpster diving. Sad shit. Kuno could hook you up with some sweet rags. Shit like Kuno's wearing. Your size, good price. 500 real.
Alright, entertain me. What's so great about these pants?
Pig, these are found modulars. Liquid fit, performance crotch, urban survival shit. Made in Mirova by scientists. Pants scientists. Believe it, you need this shit.
He unzips his jacket to give you a quick peek at the plastic-wrapped pants. They are graphite black and look brand new. Coach Physical Instrument endorses these pants. They are tartan ready. They will also make you into an idiot. Wait, I asked you what happened to his clothes. You must have seen them lying around.
Look, Kuno ain't seen shit lying around.
Fucking need these
Except for
pants.
that
Science
there.
pants.
Now you want performance gear or not, Grandpa?
The lieutenant remained silent, but his expression couldn't say, "I told you so," any louder. I might be interested in the pants. Let's talk about this later.
Alright, Pico. Shit's rolling.
Don't do business with the pig, Kuno. He's going to steal all your money, Kuno.
As you can see, Kuno and C don't trust you. Can't do business without trust.
Task gained by fallen pants from Kuno. There's more to his distrust than being a pig. He feels threatened by something obscure in you. What that is, however, remains a puzzle for now. There was also a mug in the trash.
The fuck? A mug in the trash? Is this about the fucking clothes again?
Yes, does this racist mug have anything to do with it?
Yeah, Kuno sees where this is going. Kuno's got that fast brain. You saying you pigs are after the mug fucker? Cause he's the clothes fucker?
I can't hear you, Kuno. Speak louder, Kuno.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Kuno. Someone has tampered with the crime scene, cleaned some of it up.
Shit, that's tense. Someone's going to the beat-down basement, huh? Mug guy gonna get tied to the radiator.
He nods in approval. The kid may have something there. He's already come up with an interrogation technique, too.
Kuno doesn't know who put that shit in there. And if he did, he wouldn't squeal. But if you find out, maybe you can...
Stop turning into a pig, Kuno. They're trying to get you hooked on the snitching. Get away from my Kuno.
Yeah? Get your bacon shit away. Kuno doesn't like to be seen with the popo. Get your shit done and out of Kuno's face.
The ladder, ever climb it?
Look at that fucking shit. You're trying to get Kuno killed.
So you would say that the ladder is unclimbable?
Fuck does Kuno know? Kuno's not a fucking acrobat.
The lieutenant takes a quick note in his notebook.
It's a trap, Kuno. Don't climb it, Kuno.
What's in the greenhouse over there?
Dunno. Kipta's gardener used to work there.
Hold on, the gardener used to work there?
Yeah, that's what Kuno said. She couldn't handle the heat, so she took off. Kuno can take it. Shit's nothing to Kuno.
You mean the young woman by whirling in rags, that gardener?
Look, Kuno doesn't explain shit. Kuno just says shit.
He looks you in the eye and nods, as if agreeing with himself. Yeah, her. Kuno, there's a stack of eternite back there.
That's just some shit roofing gimps left behind. Lazy dinks.
There it is, that strange feeling again, as if there was more than meets the eye about that pile of roofing material. So you say. Ooh, shit, yeah. Yes, some shit gimps left behind. Were those gimps left-handed? Fuck. 4. Don't I have a normal thing to say? Don't I have a single normal thing to say?
The fuck are you talking about? Kuno doesn't know what handed gimps they were.
Trying to get you to talk gimp, Kuno. Don't talk.
You can't hide it. I see without vision, with my inner eye.
Inner eye? Fuck are you talking about? Ask me a normal question, pig.
They're trying to make you feel stupid, Kuno.
You glance again at the roofing material in front of the shack. Yes, you should go back there. I might have questions later. For now, let's talk about something else.
Yeah, whatever. Kuno doesn't give a shit.
All right, let's take a run at Kuno. Yeah, no. He's on your crime scene, bossing you around, and he's been here for some time, too. This is where he hangs out. You have to get more out of him. He could be useful. Kuno? City of Rage? Night City? What's going on there? I'm intrigued.
No!
The evil shit behind the fence hacks like she's coughing up a furball.
You told him about it and now he knows your name.
The prospect of the Kuno turning lame is physically painful for her.
The city's not fucking lame. You are lame. Kuno's tired of defending Rage City from... Just fuck off, alright? And fuck you too, putting Kuno on the spot like that. Kuno doesn't need to fucking explain his shit. Kuno's king. He rules here. Fuck did you want?
Explain yourself? As if explaining some kind of work? Some kind of avant-garde work way ahead of its time? I'm intrigued. You must get to the bottom of this one of these days. Sadly, it's unlikely to happen today. Okay, I'm off.
Kuno doesn't fucking care.
Hell yeah, he doesn't. Let's check the greenhouse again. The Eternite. Yeah, I boosted perception. Inland Empire said come back. So I come back. The Kuno-S voiceover is very good. Both those voiceovers are really, really good. Because there's a secret door hidden behind the panels of Eternite. That's why they're too orderly. There it is. You see a shabby little door.
What is this then? A tool shed? Let's investigate.
It's Kuno's meth lab. An empty tube of magnesium supplement. Oh, that's... Oops. That's right. That's how you get up here. There's some money up here, I think. There's some items. Something. Go get him, Harry. Give me those. Give me that money. This doorway is going to collapse soon. Restoration pillars keep the ruins together. Here's some money. I'm desperate to not have to... I would just prefer not to... Ooh, hello. Ooh, another postcard. Not have to have Kim pawn his tires so I can sleep tonight. And a little Nosafet. Nosafet. Not his tires, his hubcaps. I gotta start taking more bribes. Cured pig's head. It looks mummified. Kuno's secret stash. The poster says, "Get out of the way or get fucked up." It's actually a fallen slogan from an aggressive youth-oriented campaign. A silver plate with traces of bone yellow powder. Be still, my beating heart. It's amphetamine, sweet amphetamine. The lieutenant isn't studying the powder in the mirror. He's studying you. Someone has taken narcotics here. Perhaps the police should interfere?
Perhaps not. This is below our pay grade, detective. However...
He points to the ladder in the corner.
But that there was an interesting find. An alternative path into the harbor that the kid uses. Well done.
He's positively reinforcing me to not do methamphetamine. Or just regular amphetamine. I don't really know the difference. I used to. Because I used to be a chemistry major. Once upon a time. Alright. I put this off long enough.
Yes?
Oh, sorry, Kim. Let's talk to the dead man. The corpse lies on the ground among the remains of an absolutely demolished pine wood branch. It's gently laid on one side. Beautiful.
Mr. Measurehead has done a good job. Nothing is too broken or compromised. The victim is ready for a field autopsy.
A field autopsy?
Yes. 1. Investigation of the scene. 2. Initial examination of the victim. 3. Field autopsy. 4. Transportation of the body to the morgue. We are on number 3.
The fuck are they on about?
Cop's gonna cut his shit up.
Don't we have someone else to cut his shit open?
It's not about cutting. And no, you and I are detectives. The honorary rank of detective signifies our ability to handle the entire incident chain, from autopsy to cleanup to social work.
Wait, honorary rank of detective?
An honor and a burden attached to your rank once you've proven yourself able, usually after 5 to 8 years of field work. Mine is lieutenant detective.
Yeah, I feel like a detective.
You are. Your station would not have assigned you on this case if you weren't. Now...
The lieutenant adjusts his glasses and takes a deep breath. First, what exactly is a field autopsy?
Come on, officer. You know what a field autopsy is. You've done 100 of them.
Let's get in there.
There truly is a time for everything, even for yellow gardening gloves. However, they are lacking hygienically. I suggest you get in there in limited capacity.
I don't know, what do you mean?
I mean when I need you to. Until then, I should handle physical contact, and you should take notes.
We just fill this in, right? Show him the red field autopsy form in your ledger.
That's right.
Open your ledger at the field autopsy form. The dead man stares in silence as you crack open the ledger. The bright red paper is covered in boxes and lists, describing the condition of his skin and organs in 3 parts. Above those, an 11-field info form needs filling out first. It begins with 1. Assistant.
That's you.
Ooh, boy. Right, Harry Dubois. I'm betraying you, Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau. The corpse is indifferent to your scribblings, just lies there. The next box says, coroner's case number.
KK57-0803.0815.
Write it down.
Next,
3. Name.
NA. Next,
4. Date of birth.
NA.
5. Age.
Roughly 50.
Right, roughly 50. The corpse looks ageless, like meat on a hook. Teeming with opportunistic microorganisms, letting out a foul-smelling diamine compound. Your eyes turn watery. 6. Race.
Mondial.
Write it down. The pudgy mess of curled meat looks neither mondial nor anything other. 7. Sex.
Fucky, fucky!
The little monster exclaims energetically.
Male.
Pigs can have sex.
Right, male. I don't want to fuck up the detective parts, you know? Nor does he look male with his pregnant belly and indistinguishable face. 8. Date of death.
We're still going with March 4th. 51.
Write down March 4th, 51.
What else? 9. Body identified by is non-applicable. 10. Case number is the same as the coroner's case.
KK5705030815 listens, motionless, with the cargo belt still around his neck. Only one box remains. 11. Evidence of treatment.
None. At least not after the initial examination.
What exactly is treatment, anyway?
Interfering with the body's position or wounds post-mortem.
Fucky. I'm not so sure. Didn't the footprints look like he was carried over?
They'd have to have incapacitated and carried him over. This man was more than a match for untrained dog walkers.
He places his hand on the dead man's chest, as if in preparation. Your central nervous system recognizes this gesture. It's the stations of the breath. Ecclesiastic, religious in nature, a holdout from pre-Delorian burial rites. It takes him 2 seconds to perform, then... Somewhere in Jamrock North, a small woodshed behind Rosencrantz Row, Lieutenant Nick Feuerbach puts his hand to the chest of a small corpse, no larger than a monkey. It's raining outside, light drizzle. There's darkness in the shed. Elsewhere yet, an obese female sits in a wicker chair, her silhouette ball-like against the window. Outside, Grand Couronne. The day is turning dim for Sergeant Mac Torson. Hand extended, he approaches, to make sure she is dead more than anything else. The building is tall, 7 stories wind-wrapped in solitude. Most of the apartments are unoccupied. This was a suicide. The other an accident. The small one. And so all across Jamrock, Coal City, GRIH, 42 deceased persons found today. 42 stations of breath.
We should start the post-mortem.
Turn the page. The corpse cannot feel Kim's hand on his chest. It no longer meaningfully interacts with its surroundings. A thicket of boxes and lists on red copier paper tries to answer why. External examination. Summary.
Clothes. The deceased wears armored boots and white briefs. The make of the briefs is Babrodine, I think. Let's see.
He turns the body onto its side to check the underwear label.
See, it's happening.
Babrodine, yes. Inexpensive. Size M. Color white.
The disappointment is palpable. The red-haired thing was expecting something more lurid. Write it down.
The boots are ceramic. Vitreous enamel. They are fused to his skin from blood flowing downward post-mortem. Removal of the boots is left for processing.
Write it down.
Tattoos.
He stands up, feet planted on either side of the body.
The upper torso is covered in a single, continuous tattoo, resembling a national pattern. It reaches from the right shoulder to the heart. The ink is blue and white. The assistant has a color photograph of the markings, to be added to the case files as document A1. The photo is taken on the scene, using a Trigat Mini.
Write it down.
The deceased has a cargo lashing belt around his neck, tied with a hangman's knot. Color yellow. Length 3 meters. There is a buckle on the other end.
Write it down.
Well nourished, athletically built. measuring 1.8 meters, generally consistent with age, about 50. Preservation is good. Ambient temperature below freezing.
The spine is bent more than the lieutenant compensated for. This buster's actual height is about 1.85, and no, you could not take him straight on. I'm gonna write 1.85 meters, Lieutenant.
Of course, I undercompensated.
Write it down.
Body hair is light brown. Distribution is consistent with age. The deceased had male pattern baldness. Hair is combed back, short.
Touch the corpse's hair before moving on. The hair under your latex fingers feels cold to touch. Wet. Stroke his hair. Gently. The stench is suffocating. Strands of dark brown hair start sticking to the latex of the glove, like thread off a ragdoll's head. Keep petting him. More hair sticks to the glove. Hair off the rain-soaked head of a dead man. There are bumps and dips on the skull below. An alien landscape. There, dead man. You were someone's child. It's all over now. There, baby. The lieutenant watches you in silence. Write it down. Oh, sorry. Write it down. Short, light brown, male pattern baldness.
That was some sick shit, Sekopa.
Lividity is consistent with hanging. The head is congested. Contusions are present on the head, chest, and thighs, consistent with stones thrown. Low velocity.
Fucking low velocity. You think Kuno doesn't know what you're talking about? Velocity was fucking max.
God, Kuno is so good.
Talking shit about Kuno's velocity.
I had forgotten how fucking good Kuno is. He is the best.
In addition, there are bite marks on the face, scalp, and chest, consistent with predation.
Write down, but amend for high velocity.
Ligature mark.
The lieutenant produces a small folding knife. With the other hand pulling on the belt, he starts cutting into the polyester. The stench is horrid. After a while, it's obvious the material cannot be cut.
The steel wiring. There's too much of it. We need to remove the belt so we can get to the ligature mark.
You got just the right tool for that, the chain cutters. Good thing we got these chain cutters.
Always good to think ahead. Now,
He points to the rope squeezing the dead man's neck.
we need to cut the belt to see the ligature mark below. Carefully, with as much precision as you can.
See, my pig is gonna fuck his head off.
No, he ain't. Your pig's a boring fuck.
Oh, it's a physical instrument, thank Christ. Alright. Look for a good spot to cut. The belt is equally tight around the whole circumference of his neck, swelling over the edges like white bread rising from the yeast. After some deliberation, you sink the cutters into the knot tying the belt together. You squeeze the rubber handles together, sweat forming on your brow. Press down. Snap! The knot is slashed. Another cut and the belt falls apart like a flower bouquet, revealing the dead man's neck and the dark red ligature mark around it.
The rope rises to a point, leaving a gap in the ligature mark. The suspension point is in the back of the neck.
The lieutenant is kneeled closer, running his finger along the dark red groove, until there's a gap. As it ought to. This is where its grip on the curdled meat is gentlest, pulling up.
Hemorrhaging is observed on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. The mark is well pronounced, consistent with a drop from 1 or 1.5 meters.
Write it down.
Chest is intact, normal contour. Abdomen is protuberant, pelvis intact, genitalia.
He pulls down the man's underpants.
No, let's get up and see.
I fucking knew it!
This is clearly what they've been waiting for, ever since the autopsy began. The lieutenant is trying to make it as boring as possible.
Genitalia is male and unremarkable. No evidence of injury.
Inspect the genitals. The dead man's penis is average size, congested from the downward collection of blood. The testicles are uneven in length, hanging underneath. The genitalia is greenish. Marbling is present around the crotch. You should touch it. Touch it. Doesn't feel like anything. A cold spot under your gardening gloves. Unremarkable and unalive.
My pig's so fucking ill right now.
His voice swells with pride.
Oh, your pig's pretty sick, I gotta say.
Write it down and move on.
Back is symmetrical and intact. Upper and lower extremities are intact, but asymmetrical. There are all combat injuries on the right hand, thigh, and hip.
Bullets have bitten little pieces out of him. It must have been excruciating, especially the hip. Before you is a temple of pain that knew little tenderness in life.
In addition, I see smaller, residual scars, too numerous to count, covering about 30% of his skin.
This is the body of a soldier, mercenary.
We have a real museum here. Of battles, wars.
Write it down.
Last item, hands.
He takes the man's right hand in his, inspects it, then moves on to the other hand. Pick up the hand. His flesh is cold, icy.
Pleased to meet you. Where are you from and what's your name?
My name is...
I'm only fucking with you. I know where you're from. From Cappadocia. And your name is Il Corbo. What can I do you for, Il Corbo di Cappadocia?
It's good to hold your hand. Did you like it when I stroked your hair?
I did, Kobo. I did. Reminded me of when I was just a small boy, before this happened to my face and my body. You did me a kindness there. We should do this more often. Be close like this, I mean.
Hands are clean. No sign of injury from struggling.
Were we expecting any?
I was. Maybe I'm just not seeing them. Honestly, this stench is making it hard for me to think at the moment. Ooh. That's all for the external. Well done. What next?
Internal examination. Summary.
Central nervous system. I have nothing. Do you have anything on this man's central nervous system?
You don't even have a joke. Nope.
Musculoskeletal. Purge fluid is coming from the mouth. Not injury related. Eyes and tongue protuberant. Hyoid bone. Let's see.
With his eyes almost closed, the lieutenant puts his hand on the dead man's throat and begins to massage it gently. A rotting smell erupts from the mouth. Purge fluid runs down his lips, black and viscous.
Yeah, jack that fucker off!
The hyoid bone is fractured. The rest of the musculoskeletal system is intact. Unremarkable.
Write it down.
Respiratory system.
Back hunched, as if in prayer, he begins to pry open the dead man's jaws. He stops to exert more force. Both hands are used. He's really doing it. The dead man's teeth cut into his gloved hands.
Oral cavity shows no lesions. The victim has received dental implants, possibly after a combat wound. Mouth swollen. Hemorrhaging present in mucosa of the lips and mouth.
Look inside the dead man's mouth. No scream, no sigh of relief rises from the darkness inside. It's humid there, sickly sweet air unlike anything living. You feel like you're about to throw up again, straight in that mouth of his. No, you don't. You can keep it in. You can keep anything in. Look deeper inside. You manage to suppress the contractions trying to empty your stomach. All it takes is concentration. Through it, you see nothing but darkness. More meat and darkness. There are ancient mysteries down there, Cabo. Ask me later.
Hemorrhaging present in mucus.
The lieutenant repeats impatiently. He lets go of the jaws. The mouth snaps shut before you. Write it down.
Hepatobiliary. NA.
He wipes his brow. Why? Don't we have anything?
Are you a hepatobiliary expert?
He looks at the corpse's stomach with a mixture of tiredness and disgust. I don't think so.
Neither am I.
And that's it?
That's it. Same for toxicology and serology. NA.
Both?
Unless you have untapped reservoirs of knowledge there.
The completionist in me wonders if there's something we could still do.
Like a toxicology screening? At this stage, I doubt processing will find anything, even if it was brimming with cocaine. But still, you should add a request.
Brimming with cocaine. Write NA and add toxicology requested.
Cardiovascular. The body exhibits heavy lividity. Blood has gathered in the hands, feet, and neck. Hypostasis is visually consistent with the hanging. Gastrointestinal.
He breathed a sigh of approaching relief. This is the last field on the list. He looks around, to the ground, the pool of feces there.
Digested semi-solid food in stomach. Voila.
He touches the corpse's bloated lower abdomen, briefly. Write it down. Omit the voila.
What's next on the list?
Description of Wow, this dialogue trees are totally different with an unhacked save file. I imagine so. Like with a save, as opposed to a save file with all of the like stats maxed out, something like that. That'd be an interesting run with like stats all pumped up to like 9 or whatever. Description of injuries. Summary.
Let's see. We have bite marks, contusions on the head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck. You'll need 3 fields. Leave a 4th one too.
What about the injuries we have inflicted?
Oh, so we inflicted them?
Okay, I have inflicted.
Okay, so there's a spin-stabilized munition from a Kiel A990 muzzleloader lodged in his lung. I don't
Hi,
think
puppy.
we should mention that. Better not to muddy the waters.
But isn't that sloppy?
Be pedantic if you like, it doesn't matter. No one else is going to investigate this man's murder. And if they do, such details would only confuse them.
See? These pigs are fucking corrupt.
The boy nods approvingly.
Why don't you fuck him if you love him so much?
Now, injuries.
Bite marks.
Head, chest, and scalp bite mark injuries. Predation by birds has caused damage to the body. Odontologist does not need to be consulted. And your opinion, officer?
Non-fatal postmortem.
Agreed. Next injury?
2. Contusions.
Not just yet. Let's get what we know it isn't out of the way first.
What's the 4th injury field for?
Nothing. Just in case.
Turn the page back. Tell me something, dead man.
Shoot, Looney Rooney.
At the autopsy, you said you have ancient mysteries.
Oh yes, Kobo mi Lobo. In the gift horse's mouth. Tracts and wakes and waterways. Ancient materials buried.
It would be interesting to do a run of this with those stats maxed out, just to see as much content as possible. But this is also a game where I feel like we're failing as often as interesting as succeeding. So, for at least for this run, I'm happy to have the build that I have, even though it's a weird build. But to where, brother?
Just a small gulp away, my beloved Kobo. A small gulp away. Come back later, Kobo. Amuse yourself with my frank manners and my memento mori features. If possible, also, see me in your dreams.
Puppy, it would be great to know what's behind that door, but you never will.
Alright. Bite marks, contusions on head and chest, and a ligature mark encircling the neck.
Ligature mark.
Nothing. Just in case.
Oh.
Not just yet. So, the scalp bleeds from a post-mortem head injury, a stone. The injury does not have the rim of an early inflammatory response. The perpetrator on the scene has confessed to causing it post-mortem.
At maximum velocity, fucko!
Yeah, Puppy, I will say that door is there to tease you about the desire to open every door.
Has confessed to causing it at maximum velocity.
Write it down. Coagulated blood sticks to his scalp and chest, where the countless stones have hit the dead man. Beneath the description of injury, 2 boxes. Non-fatal, postmortem.
Right. Next.
Ligature mark.
A dark red abraded ligature mark encircling the neck, with a gap on the nape measuring, let's say, 7 centimeters. The hyoid bone is fractured, the cervical column intact. I see hemorrhaging on the skin, above and below the ligature mark. Depth of the mark, 1 centimeter. No signs of clawing on the neck.
Below the note, 2 customary boxes wait to be ticked. The man's head jerks to the side, awaiting your judgment. The ring around his neck is visible. What was that about no clawing around the neck? You'd be clawing for your life. Non-fatal, postmortem. The lieutenant falls silent abruptly. He is deep in thought, eyes fixed on the bright red ring around the dead man's neck. A column of cold air encircles you, rising slowly upward in the shape of a courtyard, bordered by cracked plaster, windows, seagulls perched on air conditioning units. A small green enclosure in the middle of a corral of tenements, Capeside apartments whirling in rags in the fortress wall of Terminal B. Above it, a thin blanket of coastal stratus clouds. Higher yet, Coalition airships guard over the 21 cordons of the zone of control. The air is crisscrossed with radio transmissions. The hair on your neck rises. Rub your sides. Close your eyes.
Why do you say that?
I'm serious. I don't think this was the injury that killed him.
Okay. Why don't you think it was fatal?
I have not found the badge yet. No, I don't. I've played the game before. I don't actually remember where the badge is. Why didn't he claw at his neck when they hanged him? Why'd they not tie his hands? Big man like this is dangerous.
Honestly, I'm not sure there weren't marks on his wrists. That part got blurry for me. The stench. But you are right. There should be signs of struggle. Let's leave the cause of death empty for the time being. Let's wrap this up. I pronounce this field autopsy over.
First, how did it go?
It was an irregular field autopsy. We did not establish cause of death, which is supposed to be the goal of an autopsy. But, personally, I do not see this as a parameter for success. We also requested a toxicological screening. That was thorough. The results should arrive in a couple of weeks, if we are lucky. I will not hold my breath.
What else?
We were thorough with the list of injuries, too. We described them all in detail. What is there to say? Given the circumstances, it was a professional field autopsy.
Oh yeah, well done, Master Detective. Maybe a drink is in order? What now?
I need a copy of that autopsy form. Then I will drive him to Faubourg.
Rip out a copy of the autopsy pages.
For processing.
He looks at the dead man one more time, then at the slip of red paper in his hand, then at the corpse again. He's thinking, did I miss something? This is a white check. Okay. I don't like the idea. I really want to get this one. This is a good one. Yes. God, when the dice do it. Your arm reaches out and your eyes close, as if by their own volition. It's dark all around. You feel cold, dead flesh through the latex glove. It's right under the palm of your hand. What is this? His face, his cheeks, his nose, his fat, swollen lips. Like a rubber spider, your gloved hand crawls on his features. Everything is silent all around. Put your fingers in his mouth. The oral cavity is cold and moist. A ball-like tongue attaches itself to the base of the mouth, lolling around like a scallop. You're on the right track. Play with it. This feels right. The tongue moves freely in the cavity. The mucus of the mouth is slippery, fragile even though through the latex. From the soft meat, teeth are budding, hard pearls of bone in the gums, and in the back of the mouth. Can you feel it? You're so close. Rip his jaw open now. Look in. Open your eyes and look. A vision of black and dark red death, pried open by your hands and studded with teeth. Looks like he's laughing, death fumes rising from his throat. And there, in the back of his mouth, above the bell of the uvula, right in the soft palate, you see a hole, barely visible to the human eye. It is swollen shut, almost vanishing, no larger than 0.4 centimeters in radius. The edges appear darkened. Say, fuck yeah.
Mm-hmm. Keep going.
I also think that might be the case, Lamppost. Like, it's such an important check, right? Kuno nods too. He takes a step closer. Touch it with your finger, gently. A black trickle of liquid runs into his throat from the wound. Put your finger in. Your index fits right in there. A tight tunnel of flesh opens up, tissue damage, wide enough for 2 fingers. As you push both in, you reach through his mouth right into his brainstem.
What the fuck is happening?
Ah, shit, see?
Brainstem? Yes, that's what this part is called. You've seen the drawings, you've studied them. Feel around first. The basal ganglia feels clumpy. What entered here has torn apart his reptilian complex. The funk soul brother at the back of his head has gone dark. Forever. Push deeper. Your yellow fingers slide into the remains of the limbic system. There's no resistance, it's gelatinous. The slug-like structures are damaged too. The tearing extends deep into both hemispheres. There's a cavity cut right between the hemispheres. The lieutenant answers with the sound of his pen on paper.
Fucking cavity, see?
Kuno's voice is hushed, quivering with awe. Push deeper. Your fingers are all the way in now, reaching toward the inside of his skull. The cavity goes further, but the entry wound isn't wide enough for the rest of your hand to follow. All the muscles in your body harden. Time to enter him. Wriggle in. Your fingers reach toward his skull. His cerebral cortex feels like jelly, cold jelly. Strange fluid streams down your wrist as you push deeper, until you feel it on the tip of your finger. Ice-cold serrated metal. Its edges cut right through the latex and into your finger. The pain is barely noticeable under the adrenaline rush. I feel a solid object right under the skull.
Can you get to it?
Inspect the skull first. There's a tiny crack, a protrusion in the cranium right in the back of his head. Your finger must be pointing straight at it, from the inside. The object that is in there stopped just short of the skull and the encephalus, knocking this tiny fracture into the cranium.
We have the makings of a very small exit wound here.
The lieutenant leans closer.
Forget about the fucking exit wound, Beano. The pig is wearing him like a fuck puppet.
Fish it out. You pick the object between your index and middle fingers. Feels sharp, like metal. You press your teeth together. Your jaw is clenched. All you need to do is just whisper, "I got it."
My pig's fucking got it?
What? What is it?
Slowly pull your fingers out. The inside of the head feels cold and smooth like a glove as you pull out. Sweat dripping down your brow. Careful not to lose the prize between your fingers. With a plop, your hand emerges from the mouth. The garden glove is covered in blood right up to the wrist. Between your fingers, a small flower. A blossom made of lead.
Fucking beautiful!
A bullet.
The lieutenant puts a small bag marked evidence under it. Drop it in. The bullet falls in the bag, leaving a smattering of blood on the plastic. He raises the bag under his eye and says,
A non-caliber. Rifle. Some kind of brittle alloy. Fractured on impact.
"Keep it, Lieutenant. As a gift."
No, you deserve it. We can log it later.
The lieutenant drops the bag in your hand. It feels light.
We need to add an item to the injury list. Injury number 4. Oval entry wound with an abrasion color. Soft palate, back of mouth. High velocity. Temporary cavity in brain tissue. Small exit wound on the occiput. How does that sound?
Say nothing. Just nod.
Opinion, fatal injury.
Goddamn right.
And one last thing. We can now fill in injury number 3. Ligament mark. Opinion, non-fatal. Post-mortem. Treatment.
The ligament mark, the fractured hyoid bone, it was all treatment.
Yes, and the belt around his neck. The hanging. Even dragging him to the yard. All of it was done after this man was already dead.
Dead? Dabba-doop-doop.
Dead.
Agreed.
I have had my doubts since you showed me the tracks. Why did they carry him over? Why not march him, I thought. There was no satisfying explanation. There have been other signs too. Small things. We were right not to assign hanging as cause of death, as the perpetrators expected we would. No such luck for them.
We didn't fall for it, he thinks. There's pride in there. Who would do this?
That's for us to find out. But this, it will make finding them just a little easier.
Why would anyone do this?
To hide something. The real killer? The real motivation? What really happened here?
I think I need to wash myself.
Oh, you really do. I am glad to hear you say that. Your room in the Whirling in Rags should come with a bathroom. Be sure to make use of it in the evening.
Maybe the bullet holds more answers?
Yes, we should take a closer look at it. I am certain it has more to tell us.
This little thing could reveal much about the weapon that shot it. What happens next?
We bag the corpse and carry him to the holding pen of my kinema. I can transport him to processing myself, but I will be gone for the rest of the day.
You'll be gone? What should I do in the meanwhile?
Work on the case. Tend to personal matters. Try not to do anything too dangerous. An officer needs backup in a neighborhood like this. I'll leave that choice to you. And one more thing. Great work, detective.
After you bag the corpse, Lieutenant Kitsuragi will leave the party until tomorrow morning. You can do side tasks and even the main case, but it might be more difficult. Plan his exit accordingly. Let's bag him. Take him away.
All right.
He takes out a shiny black body bag and starts pulling the plastic over the dead man's face.
I will need a little help carrying him. You take the hands. I'll take the legs.
I think there are a couple people. The chat is a mix. You know, there's not that many people in here. Chat is a mix of people who have played before and haven't. I definitely... I played through this I think there's at least one person who has not played through. Everything to Puppy is still playing through. I'm trying to keep spoilers mostly off. Oh, Puppy has played. Okay. Then honestly, I think you're good. I've been trying to kind of keep spoilers out of the chat as much as possible, but also, like, you know, we're on the internet. We're watching a video game be played on the internet. There's a certain lack of control that's given up. Will, that's so Hillary Duff. So yesterday. So yesterday. Bag the corpse and drag it to the motor carriage. Yeah, I played through the game when it first came out. So this is my first time playing through the final cut. But let's take a second and just fucking chew on that. That's the shit that they achieved there is really, really tremendous. Like, that is essentially the video game. Like, what they've done is take the moment from fucking The Wire, where the fuck scene from The Wire, where they break down the crime scene and turn it into a moment in a video game. Okay, you're asking either it's possible to get a different partner. Is that choice an obvious one, or is it easy to miss? It is an outcome of an unavoidable event. An event will occur. Depending on how the event plays out, you may end up with a different partner. And that is all that I will say about that. Oh, I didn't realize. I forgot that Gary and Cole did not get the bullet. It's such a good fucking moment. Like what? You're really just passing a perception check, and then like, but also even then, it's being influenced by all the Inland Empire stuff. If I get that, yep, Vin, I am dedicated to not save scumming this run. I save scummed one thing because I was worried about fucking up my Cop of the Apocalypse run, but no. Obviously, I'm going to try to avoid it, and I do know how to avoid it, so I'm going to try. But if the dice go that way, my build is aimed towards avoiding it, too. I have my stats point towards it, and again, I know how to do it. But, because I'd really, you know, trying to have a happy ending here. Insert my bottles. $1.30. Your bottles clunk into the machine, and the machine money appears with a satisfying jingle. You're a richer man now. Do you know what you should do with that money, kiddo? You should buy more alcohol. Enter the endless cycle of consumption. But yeah, the bullet. It's the writing goes so hard. The way they use Kuno in that scene, the way they have him get genuinely into it, is so validating. It feels so fucking good to get that bullet, to find the bullet. Even look at the way it's described in the journal. Oh, gotta wash off the death smell. Is this gonna show? Can I show completed tasks? I forgot there's a map. Acquire a copy of the city map. Oh. But it's phrased something like done. There we go. It's find the bullet before you get fooled. God, it's so fucking good. Is Manana the troubadour or is it that guy?
What
Like-
I'm wondering, man. How can I help you?
The first time I wrote about this game, I've never been totally happy about it. I was trying to sell the appeal to the audience at the site. And I described it as a Dale Cooper simulator. And I do think, because Dale Cooper is one of the best, like, most interesting detectives in all of fiction, partly because he's working from intuition, partly because of just, his whole outlook on life. But that moment makes you feel like you are a really good fucking detective. It's so good. I'm raving about it. But the feelings this game evokes in me, like nothing else does. Hey, you're the man in boots at the gates. Kuno said you know about the armor.
The little boy had the good on his promise.
His promise?
To get me into trouble. To sick the pigs on me. Pardon the choice of words. Not mine.
What happened?
I was asked to look into that armor situation. Official Union probe, Track it down, see who took it.
Did you?
At first I thought, why not? Maybe the pieces can feed the strike. Buy us a few more days under the sun, So I went to this boy. He said he'll make me his prison bitch. He's got eyes everywhere, the cops in his pocket, and he's the king of Jamrock. Serves me right for doing menial footwork. I dropped that probe right then and there, and it still got me into trouble. One bad move is all it takes.
So Kuno used us to what? Scare you?
It's a minor nuisance. It's all good.
He thinks, not yet. Better get this business out of the way. Sweeter then. Probe into the armor. What did you learn?
I learned that people don't want to talk to a drunk Union man about some armor.
Okay. Anything else?
Not much. Technical stuff mostly. That was the interesting part.
What sort of technical stuff?
I did some research into this armadura. Let's say I have friends at the library. I didn't get into the material science, just how it comes off.
How then?
In parts. 4 in total. The helmet was the first to go. The kid says he tore it off and kicked it into the sea. I believe him. The boots were still on the guy last I saw. Too hard to remove. So, as I count, there are 2 parts missing. The gauntlets and the cuirass. This is where I left off. Too much hassle. More like a job for some militia.
I will say, the Judo Madonna, that it is not the... the first time I booted up the game, I kind of had this similar reaction of like, okay, this is going a little bit hard on the... on how clever it's trying to be with the opening monologue. I like that monologue now, but I don't think that's an uncommon reaction to it. I don't think it's still... I mean, for me, it was the same moment I think a lot of people had where I reached up to get my tie off of the fan and died. And I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. And then you go downstairs and talk to Kim, and you're like, oh, okay, this is amazing. 4 pieces of armor up for grabs then. But I already sent the boots away.
I guess you won't be collecting them all then. That's less work for you at least.
Hold up, 4 pieces? Helmet, cuirass, gauntlets, boots. What about the leggings?
Oh, they're just gone. They don't exist anymore, if they ever did at all. Forget about them. I did.
I'm gonna find 1 piece of it. 1 is enough.
Smart choice. It's only that one spot you need armor too. The one the bullet hits. Good luck if you go for those boots though. You'd have an easier time wresting the spurs off a boyadero than getting them off him.
Thank you for the cooperation, sir.
No problem. If you see that kid, thank him from Call Me Mañana. Thank him for showing me the way.
He is sincerely grateful he is not tracking down pieces of armor right now. Good talking to you. Gotta run. First death was on the chair. Yeah, no, that'll do it. Yeah, my first build was very, very weak physically. Like, I did 1 physique. So I had a couple of those. Either deaths or using Nosafed to, like, keep myself alive. Alright, so I have... do I sell these postcards? Photo of a happy couple. They don't want to sell the photo of a happy couple. Where do I mail the postcards? Because I desperately need the money. I need 20 bucks to... Do I want to talk to these two right now? I have not talked to them at all yet this game. I'm a little out of sorts. Maybe a sea monster did this to the plaza? The damage looks like it could have been caused by an earthquake. The book appears to be erotica, but without actual erotica. Who's this? Oh, it's the working class woman. A good one?
Yes? Hello?
She nods her attention fully focused on reading. Who are you?
Me? No one. I'm just a working class woman.
She doesn't really want to be disturbed that much. What are you doing?
Looking for something to read.
She reverts her attention to a worn-out paperback. Phenomenal.
It is.
I'm a policeman.
I know you are.
Do you need the help of a policeman?
What with?
She tries hard to focus on the book stand. Help her by carrying things? Maybe she needs a weightlifter. Maybe she needs you to fight her husband. No, that's not it. Maybe your husband is missing.
My husband? No, he's not.
So where could he be?
I don't know. At home now? Out drinking with his friends? Working?
So what I'm hearing is you don't really know where your husband is.
Yes, but I don't really need to know where my husband is. Not all the time.
Wouldn't you like to?
No.
She looks you straight into the eye. Her right foot is tapping nervously. I can totally help you find your missing husband.
Why are we still talking about this? I haven't lost my husband.
She has, though. The husband is totally lost. You should tell her it's okay. It's okay.
What?
It's all right to not know where your husband is. Nothing shameful in that.
Who said anything about shame? Stop talking down to me. My husband is not missing.
But he is. You can feel it. Maybe it's something else then. Maybe your cockatoo is missing?
I don't mean to disrespect, sir, but you are being a bit of a cockatoo here.
What do you mean I'm being a cockatoo?
Nothing. Go read up on them if you're so interested. There's a great book in the bookstore.
Maybe you should. What if the cockatoo is your astral captain or your heraldic bird? Actually, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Thanks for the tip.
Wonderful. The store is open.
Maybe your children are missing?
No, absolutely not.
Her words come out quick as gunshots. Okay, so where are they?
Are you a policeman or a nanny?
She's definitely disturbed by now. I police whatever I want. Where are they?
They are not missing, sir.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the kind words about the Archer reviews. It's an odd beat, right? Like, the show is definitely past its prime, out of the consciousness at least. But I still keep finding stuff that's interesting about it. I think it's interesting to look at a comedy going at that kind of length and try to talk about it. So thank you for the kind words. And yeah, the cockatoo. You know where they are. They're at home, smoking, giving the ladder of vices a chance. They're at home, right? Smoking cigarettes.
What? That's just... My daughters are perfectly fine. They're with their friends down in Shamrock. There's nothing to worry about. They're almost grown up now anyway. They're past the age they need me protecting them from everything now.
I'm afraid the danger is now greater than ever. Tell me, how old are they?
My youngest girl, Jolie, is just shy of 16. Jenny, she is turning 18 next month. But we shouldn't even be talking about them.
And can you describe me their appearance? Any features that stand out? Something to make identifying a little easier?
Why do you need to know this? Haven't I repeatedly told you that they're not missing? That they're in Shamrock, safe and well, at some stupid party?
Did someone say party? You could use a party. Hunt it down. It's for the investigation. I'm trying to be professional.
There is no investigation here. I can tell you that.
Watch her browse books. Her hands move over the book covers. The tips of her fingers look rough, stained with yellow. It seems like she has spent a lot of time at work, smoking. An array of neurons fires up with joy. Bummer's cigarette, lest it turn to pain. Do you smoke?
No, I don't.
I know for a fact that you smoke.
Why do you think that I smoke?
She looks up, slightly startled. Your hands look like they belong to a heavy smoker.
It's not like yours look much better.
Take a look at your hands. She's right. Your hands look even worse than hers, with tiny cuts and gashes covering your skin like a spider web. Your fingertips have become an ugly shade of brown. Just give me a cigarette, please.
I already told you I don't have any. Go bother someone else.
She's lying. She's goddamn lying. She has smokes. Do you know where I could get a new pack?
From the kiosk? There's one near the harbor. It's Frita. You can look it up.
Okay, thanks. No problem. That's all for the moment. I'll let you read. The woman before you nods and returns to her reading. I just realized that without Kim here, I can't get the hubcaps to sell. I might be in a little bit of trouble here. Is that just Cindy the Skull? I really need
Hello
$11.
again, officers. Have you come to admire my mural?
So you won't talk about the murder, but maybe you can tell me something about the murder victim's missing armor?
What do I care about some fucking tin eggshells?
Isn't armor art? Art for the body?
Ugh, alright. Sad piggy. I'll give you this one. I saw a little girl in the fishing village running around with military-grade handwear. Looked cute as hell.
I do know about the four-dimensional dude in the shipping container. I have not met him. You're right that there is money I could get there.
If you haven't been there,
that's a good point.
the village is
my
a
rhetoric's nowhere
shithole
near
down the coast from the main
high enough.
plaza. Have a good time.
And there's a little girl wearing the gloves there?
No. That's all the snitching Cindy the Skull does for today. Actually, I don't even know why I told you what I just told you. I have a weakness for animals. It's the animal thing again. Damn it.
She looks at you, a little sad suddenly. Let's poke around in here. There's money to be found. Note reads, foreclosed by Martinez Realty Associates. A shift in temperature. The air chills around you. Dust settles on the stony floor. Rub your sides for warmth. A former architect stands before a slice of window, a room plan in her hand. A cold wave has made the air in the building stand still and frozen, with temperatures falling down to -20 Celsius. Her face is red from the cold. She's breathing on her fingers, clasping the plan. Traces of sadness are visible in her expression. The plan, faint pencil lines on paper depict the same place, but a missing eastern wall connects the room with the neighboring apartment. Ideas for arranging the furniture have been jotted down. Look around yourself. It's clean and empty, with new tapestry embellishing the walls. A standard HB graphite pencil has fallen off a three-legged stool in the middle of the room. Shiver. Finish thought. The sea below looks cold and winter gray. Someone has torn down the wall. Cash. An old grocery list on the table. And checks. The graffitio says, a firing squad for the rich.
Give me a moment.
An elderly woman is leaning on her broom, her knuckles white as bone. She seems to be having difficulty breathing.
The cold never does any good for my bronchitis.
She sneezes into a dirty handkerchief. This woman's health is failing her. There's not much to do, not in this damp. Are you alright? Should I call a doctor?
I'm fine. Fine. Don't you worry about me.
She starts coughing, red spots appearing on her cheeks. You're still worried. It's very worrying.
Now, what do you want from me, policeman?
Who are you?
I'm no one. Just an old woman who cleans these hallways.
Do you live here?
If you can call it living. I have a little room upstairs right next to the coal room. It's barely bigger than a closet. But I don't complain, no. I have my bed and my aching bones to keep me company. And that's all I need from this world.
And all she gets, too. The coastal wind beats down hard on the coal room door outside. Splashes of waves make the balcony slippery. I'm looking for Martin Martinez.
Oh, you'll find plenty of Martins here. Don't you worry.
She smiles a gap-toothed smile when she hears you mention the name. No, you don't understand. I'm looking for a real person named Martin Martinez. He told me he's Martin Martinez.
Pea-brain. Someone played a trick on you. Martin Martinez is a name for anyone who comes from Martinez, like Jim Jamrock or Raoul Ravachol.
Jim Jamrock would be an excellent screen name. Oops! You really didn't get the joke there. How about a young male in his mid-20s, dark hair, skinny build, smoker on the balcony? Know where he lives?
Yes, yes. I know who you mean. The scrawny boy who's always smoking like the devil, right?
She looks at the other end of the hallway. Somewhere in the building, a child starts crying. You hear a radio tuned to a talk show and someone taking a shower.
What's he in trouble for?
No trouble. I just want to talk to him. Do you know where he lives?
Talk? He lives upstairs in room 28. Go to the balcony. It's one of those doors there. He's usually home in the evening.
I have a few questions about these apartments.
Ask away, policeman.
Do you know who lived in the foreclosed apartment?
The hell am I supposed to know? Another nut job, I assume.
She really doesn't like those nut jobs. Bad blood there. Why is there a hole in the wall in the abandoned apartment?
Some lunatic lost his mind. All kinds of morons pass through these halls.
With how small these rooms are, wouldn't you want to break the wall down? What can you tell me about Cindy?
The artiste? Nothing I can do about her, I'm afraid. She ruins the walls faster than I can clean them. Still, she leaves an old lady to her business. More than I can say for others.
That's all. Thanks. Thanks, I'm off. Apartment 8. Their mailbox is overflowing. Money, money, money. Money. The door number 9 is locked. Ooh! Hello! Cash money! Will eggplant parmesan. Yes, I did make eggplant parmesan tonight. It turned out really well. I used the recipe from J. Kenji Lopez Alt's The Food Lab, where you the first thing you do is microwave the eggplant and then compress it to get basically to not leave it any ability to like suck up all the oil, all the fry oil, because it just turns, if you do that, it just turns into this dense puck. So instead, it came out super airy, fried up perfectly. I didn't cut it right, but I made up for it by covering it, just absolutely slathering it in like a pound, literally like a pound of mozzarella. It was one of the best things I've cooked in some time, I'll say. I really enjoyed it. Another postcard. 4 cents and some coins. This is a good place to steal money. You hear someone walking around inside, rearranging the furniture. The number on the panel says number 10. The walking stops abruptly, but no one comes to the door. You can feel tension on the other side. Knock again.
A poor communard, from the looks of it. The room is barely bigger than a closet.
Well, that played the wrong audio file now, didn't it? This time, the steps come closer. Who is this? Demands a female voice, wary and tense. This is the police. Open up.
Do I have to open the door?
You hear the clacking of heels again as the other side walks right up to the door. Her tone is now getting a defensive edge.
Do you have a warrant? I'm not obligated to open the door if you don't have a warrant.
Later then, entering this door seems a physical challenge. You know, like with anything that you fry and then bake, it was a little bit of a pain in the ass to do, but the payoff was really good. Also, it was homemade sauce. I'm still talking about this Parmesan. Olivia made the sauce like a week and a half ago from tomatoes from the garden. So, like, hell yeah, right? Hell yeah. It was good. This isn't just a 5-pointed star. It's an inverted white pentagram cradled in a wreath of antlers. The iconography of communism, in other words. Inspect the symbol closer. The star and antlers was developed in the 6th decade of the last century and quickly adopted by Mazov and the communards during the revolution. Even today, half a century after, the star and antlers retains the ability to evoke hope, disappointment, and fear in equal measure. Why is the star upside down? To symbolize the toppling of the old order. Also, some social democrats were already using it. What's the deal with the antlers? The wreath of antlers represents a natural crown. It was about building a society that could exist in accord with the natural world, and at the same time above it. Why white? Because white is the color of peace. What does it evoke in me? Gone. Gone is the glory. Of hope, only the scribblings of impoverished students remain in dirty hallways. Communism's gonna kill me too. Do I have a thought going right now? I do. I'm still hunting down the Kolda Mamadakwa. The door has been closed with a padlock. A chalk-drawn number on the board says number 11. Examine the padlock. It's a solid lump of metal, but the shackle is deeply corroded. A solid pair of chain cutters to make short work of it. Better whip out those cutters. You won't get very far otherwise. It's going to yell at me for not having tool in hand. No reply. Find some money in here. Get very rich. Or fail the fucking check. What are you doing? You're trying to cut the body of the lock with the chain cutters, and it's really not working. You know what? You interface a lot in this, and I've got a lot of skill points. So let's take another shot at that one. The shackle snaps like a twig, and the lock falls to the floor with a little thud. It should be possible to enter now. Oh, we're gonna get some more communism sadnesses. Flamboyant poster of a white star. Real lithography. Lithography always makes me sad. Shanna was a lithographist. Photos of revolutionaries posing with guns. Books of critical theory on the monstrosities of capital and such. What's that thought? Revolutionaries love to pose with their guns. Get a bullet. And a nice shirt. What's my shirt doing for me right now? Helping my conceptualization, lowering my suggestion. This one just increases. Oh, this is a jacket. Never mind. I like what my jacket does, but when it's conceptualization time, I might switch over to it. Summer plans. Classic white summer jacket, loved both by the Cimmerian Communist Party and the accompanying subtropical drug traffickers. Fits you well, regardless of your political ambitions. Vin, would you consider doing a Skyrim book or one of the books from Skyrim? Perhaps the 37 Things of Vivek, the lessons. Hello, Guppy Nation. A plaster by the way, we're going to go till 10:30 tonight since I started a little late this evening. A plaster cast bust depicts a middle-aged man with impressive sideburns. The name on the plinth reads Kras Mazov. Honestly, he does kind of look like you after all. A communard lives in this room. Father Mazov, the hero of the working class. I get XP from doing that. A warm feeling fills you as you look into Mazov's marble eyes. The hallway behind the door is empty. No one else heard your courageous salute. I made... Oh, yeah, Puppy, great job on Frankenstein. No. up till Wednesday. Where's your money? That's a great question, puppy, and it's the reason that I should never have asked you to make it to do a thing. Well, but Vin, what about, there are books in Skyrim, right? The Lusty Argonian Maid. You could do the first page of the Lusty Argonian Maid for Dark and Stormy Nights. A communard lives in this room. A poor communard from the looks of it. There we go. There's where that line was supposed to be. The room is barely bigger than a closet. Leave. Ooh, flip up glasses, the auditor, increasing my logic but lowering my authority. This box is filled with cleaning chemicals. It smells of laundry detergent. Eviction notices and missing pets are plastered on top of each other. An old shoe rack. Boots, sneakers, and old slippers. Apartment 12. A loud rumbling snore comes from within. Snoring is scary somehow. You should leave. How have I been enjoying Disco Elysium so far? So to be clear, this is my second playthrough ever of Disco Elysium, which is, I am increasingly moved to say my favorite game of all time. So far I tend to hedge and say my favorite game of the last decade. But when I hold this up against the previous contender, which is Planescape Torment, it's better, I think. It's about more interesting things for the most part, and it's purer in its expression of them. The books in that are pretty short, Vin, but like they have first pages. We've got you there. I'm not gonna carry alcohol around. I am going to steal 42 more cents from this random shitty bathroom. But yeah, this is hour 10 or so of my playthrough, depending on how long I've gone on some of these. Some nights I've gone longer. And yeah, no, it is, if anything, better on second play than first. I also have a deep and abiding affection for KOTOR 2. One of those things, I have been trying for years to get Gary to play that game, because I think, A, it's the only piece of Star Wars media that hates Star Wars as much as he does. But also just, I think so many of the things it does are so cool. But it has the problem of being a sequel to a pretty basic BioWare RPG, and thus the problem. Yeah, 75 cents in this random thing. Just a door. Nothing for you here right now. And then, of course, there's the whole Chris Avellone thing, which is deeply unfortunate for a writer whose work I have had a lot of affection over the years. And I'll say, I don't hate KOTOR 1. I don't hate it. It's just not very good. This is the door to apartment 30. Singing to some buoyant dance track. All right. This door is made of metal and appears to be reinforced. Someone here really values their security. Number 28. This is where the cleaning lady said the smoker on the balcony lives. No one answers. Looks like he isn't home. You should come back later, after 2100. I will do that. I may or may not pursue the thought that comes from spending a lot of time with that guy. KOTOR 2 does some stuff that I have never seen anybody else do in a video game. And it has some really cool shit in it. Like, undeniably very cool shit in it. It's also got some god-awful stuff. Just boring fucking shit. So yeah, a hard recommend on multiple levels. Oh, it's a big skull. Yes! Oh my god. Yes, that's $20! We get to sleep tonight! Above, tarps flap in the wind. Forgotten hammers and nails rust. The door is locked. You can't get in. Hi, Cindy. $20. $20. Unless we buy a book. Unless we buy the Cockatoo book. Question whether to count the restored content might be thorny too. Oh, like, again, that is a waft that would be like... I know those guys well enough to know that they would really struggle with doing the sequel without having played the original. Gary, at least, very much so. So, let me design many Guppy shirts for free. Puppy, that would be legally dicey. Someone's been sleeping here. Recently. Enough coal to last for several winters. Smells of chemicals. Alright. It's pour l'homme, laborer genes. +1 electrochemistry, -1 reaction speed. Those are not good pants for anything I'm trying to do. All my pants make me better at drugs. Oh, that is a good amount of cash. Okay. See, now we can even maybe go buy the Cockatoo book. I haven't actually been in the bookstore. Yeah, and Hitman is so good. God. For a while there, I was playing through big chunks of Hitman in VR, and that was a really fun time. I got a little bogged down in it and got bored with setting up the equipment. But Hitman in VR is a special weird thing. Alright. I am just happy that I have not borked my game by accidentally cutting off ways to get sleepy money.
I'm sleepy, buddy.
I didn't mean to go on the balcony again. Yeah, it's very hard to play. Like, it's wild because two doesn't work without knowing the trick of one. But at the same time, it's so much more interesting. I don't know. That's some of my favorite writing anybody's ever done about the Force. I think it's not just deconstructionist. It kind of goes beyond that to some extent. Like, it's a really deep thought about it. Some very deep thoughts about it. Another splattering of bullet holes on this wall. Well, we're here. I might as well do Everart's little errand. This must be it. The basement door is weather-worn. The copper nails holding the upholstery in place have turned green from sea air, and there's a knocker shaped like a lion's head. The Royal Lion, Guillaume's kitten. This knocker will last a lifetime and then some. Press your ear against the door. The door is slick with rain. You don't hear any movement inside. In fact, it's oddly silent in the yard around you. No birds chirp. Will, what is the Joker's trick? The Joker's trick is a magic trick the Joker does, but it's actually, it doesn't work very well as a magic trick because it's extremely easy to understand how he does it. He puts a pencil in a man's eye. He hides the pencil in the man's eye. Use Manana's key to unlock the door. You try to be as silent as you can. It takes a bit of rattling off the handle to loosen the bolt. Finally, the door unlocked with a small clack. Thoughts race through your head. Good job. Let's go now. I'm sure there's nothing interesting in there. Only curiosity could account for stepping over that threshold. Maybe there's treasure in there, a white alligator, a fountain of quicksilver? As you hold the open door, you can feel the air moving. A little draft, a whistle. Yeah, of course we're going in the fucking door. I'm interested in their Bond game, you know. That is a good point. Like, at this point, Disney is not going to let anyone fuck around with Star Wars the way they let Obsidian do at that time. Some free magnesium, which is good, since I'm on the verge of suicide. A small suitcase full of clothes. Guests are staying over? A book titled The Hidden World of Walking Sticks lies open. You can almost feel the warmth of the red sun on the flag. This is the flag of Revachol, the suzerainty. Suzerainty? What's with the sun? This isn't just one sun, but there are little suns dancing around the big sun. This is the sevenfold sun miracle. What's the sevenfold sun miracle? It's an optical atmospheric anomaly the first settlers saw. It happens in cold weather, 6 small suns around the big one. This complex halo phenomena is how Old Revachol got its flag. Don't bow to the flag. The flag doesn't seem to mind. It's just a colorful fabric with the sun sewn into it. Like all feudal flags, it looks like a children's drawing. There we go. A logic boosting dress shirt. What's my current dress shirt? Conceptualization. I do want conceptualization up right now. Whoever lives here admires fair-haired fantasy heroes with big muscles. Everything about the character who lives here is very funny. Other than the racism. But. A row of mugs sits on the shelf. Each one depicts a human figure. A dark-skinned woman grinning amidst mysterious symbols, a broad-shouldered man shoveling potatoes, and others. Tap on the mugs. A little ring. Though cheerful, the images on the ceramic make you vaguely uncomfortable. The images betray a lack of interest in human beings. They're merely unflattering caricatures. What do I mean, uncomfortable? The owner of these mugs doesn't like people of other ethnicities very much. Thanks, good to know. I have no opinion on this. Sometimes I want to pick the boring options because the boring cop thought is extremely funny, but this person is unhappy. Whip out your yellow man mug and compare. Yes, your broken mug friend would feel very much at home here. The same humor, the same mocking lines. An interesting little clue. Let's see where this goes. Clues have a way of magically connecting to other clues down the road. Perhaps you should break into apartments more often. Is this really the same person who put the dead man's clothes in the trash? Who knows? Could be. But this clothes in the trash lead doesn't really seem like it's going anywhere. Still, good thing to keep in mind. Move on from the mugs. It is certainly a game that I would love to see in the chat. Sinalalia SA says, I think DE handles timing with its writing better than any other game in the genre. It's very good. I would love to get like under the hood and see how all the that is a reason that I would be interested in seeing all of the cranking everything to see what the stats look like, because that's fascinating to see just everything the game can yell at you. Okay, Kudos. Good talk. Let's go, disco. Let's go. You know what? Let's give conceptualization a little goose. Because it's a fun one. Art's fun. I am +1ing my conceptualization right now thanks to that shirt. They should add a battle pass to this game. That is true. Oh boy, that is still going to be not good. Yeah, why? It's a wall, an ordinary wall. All right, let's go to the bookstore. We can buy books now, and we have time to kill. We're gonna go for another I say 10 minutes. Hi, yes, okay, fine. There's a decent chance I will go longer. There's a lot of good shit in the bookstore. And we can't do the thing that I thought was going to be the climax tonight, which was the Hardy Boys interview, because I'm not going to fucking do that without Kim. Oh, yes, a card game. Yes, okay, fine. We got the bullet. We did the autopsy, and we got the bullet, and it was as good as I remember. It's so fucking sublime. Gift books and molten candy. The Man from Helmdall series. The display rack is brimming with worn paperbacks featuring an extremely muscular, sword-wielding barbarian on the cover. Nearly all the titles contain the word Helmdall somewhere. This is entirely, completely you. You have found the right books. Storekeep, tell me about the Muscle Man books.
Man from Hjelmdal. A very popular series of adventure novels. They're awfully immoral and violent books.
Why are they so popular?
Blood and violence, scantily clad women, epic narratives, all those mystical things he encounters. They're bound to grab those with little imagination and nothing to do.
Sounds good. Which one should I start with?
What does it matter? They're all the same. However, the customer is always right, they say. If you're a novice of the series, I'd recommend Hjelmdalaman, the man from Hjelmdal. It's supposed to be a good introduction to the series.
Look through the display of books. Rows and rows of Heimdallerman blur your vision. You make out some titles. Man from Helmdal and the Mammoth Riders. Man from Helmdal, Return to Helmdal. And the solipsistic Man from Helmdal and the Helmdal Man. Good God, how many are there? Oh yeah, the board game. Do they sell it here? Yeah. I didn't play the board game my first time through. I would very much like to play the board game this time. So I didn't buy a lot in the bookstore because they all want money. Maybe 100. Man from Helmdal and the sages at the end of the world. Man from Helmdal and the false god. Man from Helmdal and the scorched earth. Man from Helmdal, the Helmdal colonies. Man from Helmdal and the swamp beast. Man from Helmdal and the snow crabs. Those snow crabs are worse than they sound. Is that all? Not even close. Man from Helmdal in hell. Man from Helmdal in the forest of slaves. Man from Helmdal under the lake. Man from Helmdal, Helmdal burning. There's even The Trial of Death, a Pasternal combat game book set in the world of Helmdallerman. So much more. Do any of the books call out to me? A twinge at the back of your head makes you flinch. Your eye starts twitching. What is it? Your hand reaches toward a book with glossy cover art of the very muscular man from Helmdal, in chains, kneeling in front of a staircase leading to a throne. A woman sits on the throne, leering at the man. She's laughing at him, belittling him. Between the throne and the Helmdallermen lies a bonfire casting shadows on the wall. The shadows of the woman's headdress look like a pair of devil horns. The title reads, Man from Helmdal and the Devil Women. Aren't all women devil women he didn't pick? Interesting. Leave. Are these just the same? Yes. After I finish this, I have to go play some Return to Monkey Island so I can write about it this week. So far, it's very good. It's not this good, but it's good. There we go. A small mountain of colorful board game boxes. There are numerous types of games for all ages. A lot of shelf space seems to be taken up by We're All related merchandise. Storekeep, what board games do you have here?
Wonderful board games, sir. The Viticulturist is a classic for sure, or perhaps you'd like Archipelagos of Insulinda, a very educational game for those interested in geography.
Will, what is a paradiddle? I believe that's a drumming term, isn't it? I don't remember what the rhythm of it is, but I believe that is a drum beat. I played drums briefly. Band drums, or like orchestra drums, not real drums. So like the writing is solid. Like it's you know, it's like the original Monkey Island, in which not every joke is funny, but the tone is so funny that it works, and it's relentless. It looks great. The puzzles are on the easy side, which is fine, even though with the puzzle difficulty turned up, and it just feels good. Like I like the voice acting. What's his name? Dominic Amato, I think. All the voice acting is good. And it feels like Monkey Island. It feels right.
Browbritter is a fun game of economic competition, but can get quite intense after a while. We have games for the whole family. You can play with your children.
Who are you going to play board games with? Do you have friends or family? Wow, I have children? A family? Well, I'll die if I don't take some magnesium right now. Oops. It certainly feels like whatever you are will die with you. Fucking Inland Empire. Look at me. Who'd want to have children with me?
Don't be so hard on yourself, sir. You just need to clean up a bit. And technically, friends are a bit like family.
She fiddles her pendant.
For playing with friends, I'd recommend Suzerainty. It's a civilization building game where you build a civilization, then set off to brutally colonize and repress other civilizations. It'll cost 12 real.
So what about all these we're all things?
Lousy auras there. No, role-playing games are popular among those types. You know, who are into those kind of things. Personally, I don't like it. Not at all. I've heard they turn people into occult enthusiasts. That they have rituals where they try to summon entities. Highly immoral stuff. You can still buy them, though.
Look through the pile of we're all related items. An endless variety of source books, lore books, and codices litter the table. The topmost book is titled Welcome Compendium, 2nd edition. There's also a large hardbound tome with intricate cover art, The Hunters of Katok, Boreal Creature Compendium, and a Pick Your Path adventure game book titled Tales of Wirral, Cavern of Velkrag. Books in a board game section? Who wants to read books? Anything that really catches my eye? There's a box that says Wirral 3rd edition Mega Setting Supplements module. The side panel notes a fantastique adventure board game. New maps and miniatures. A sticker on it displays 25 real. Nonsense for anemic binoclards. The book collects the national recipes of Arda. They're all about lake trout. Upstairs we go. These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You say, yes, okay, fine. If I buy anything in here right now, I will not have enough money to sleep. Also, I don't have Kim with me. These shelves are overburdened with books from the same series. You see the name Dick Mullen over and over. Storekeep, what's all this crime fiction?
Oh, crime, robberies, murders, even sexual crimes. We're fortunate to have Dick Mullen and his stories to sort all that out. You're a police officer, apparently. You should buy all of these. They really do teach a person how to be a proper detective.
Open your compendium without Kim. Okay. Sex crimes did pique your interest, but still, this Dick Mullen person only gets your pleasure centers down. Look through the display of books. Crime fiction is a disgrace, an asinine misrepresentation of the physical attributes and the arduous, everyday work of actual police officers. These books greatly overstate the excitement of police work, glossing over how long it takes to actually follow up on leads and eliminate dead ends. Furthermore, they have no idea how hard it is to simply remove a body from a tree. What's more, they completely ignore the psychological hardships of year after year coming into contact with people during the worst days of their lives. Not a single mention of all the stress this work creates upon the officer's family. Detective fiction just doesn't tell the truth at all. Now, would you like a list of the books found on the shelf? Sure thing. You see, Dick Mullen on the Job, Get Me Mullen, The Stalwart Adventures of Richard P. Mullen, Dick Mullen and the Murder in the Orchard, The Sordid Affair of Dick Mullen, A Killing is Declared, Dick Mullen in the Murder House, The Final Case of Dick Mullen, an obvious lie, Dick Mullen in the Clock Tower, The Ordeals of Dick Mullen, Dauntless Dick, Dick Mullen's Funeral Pyre, The Murder of Dick Mullen. Dick Mullen dies. Oh no, turns out he faked it to solve a case. Are there any more? Yes, there's also The Dame Who Did It. Farewell, my Mullen. Faking death seems to be a common trope in the Mullen series. The Morbid Tales of Dick Mullen. A Dark Tide Turns. Tragedy Calls for Dick Mullen, another one with fake death. And of course, Dick Mullen, the Murderer. In order to catch a murderer, Dick Mullen must become the murderer. After all this, you still haven't found the answer to the one question that matters. Who is Dick Mullen? Reaction speed. Who is Dick Mullen? Your quick eye notices a small caterpillar crawling across the spine of a book. The title reads, Dick Mullen and the Mistaken Identity. What do we have here? Mistaken Identity. A worn paperback from Dick Mullen's classic hard-boiled phase. The premise seems to be that Dick Mullen is framed for the murder of his best friend and has just a few days to prove his innocence. Huh. Why does this speak to me? Could it be the motifs of unstable identities and shocking betrayals? That's probably right. I'm a complicated guy full of contradictions. No, it's got to be something else. Perhaps you're drawn to the dark and noirish atmosphere? No, that's not it either. Is it because the smoking dame in the slinky red dress on the cover is giving you a hard-on? What? No, that's not what's happening. Yes, it is. The bulge in your pants is embarrassingly obvious. Relax, it's not that bad. Also, this means your blood flow is returning to normal. Good news, really. It's a tome of fascist magic. Rather candid. Quaint picture book brochure. Very colorful. From A to Zreek, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo. Book boner unlocked. This is a great area for me getting to just read funny book titles, which is apparently all I actually want to do in life. A sulfur-crested cockatoo sits on the cover, its beak slightly open. It looks as if the bird is calling out the book title. From A to Zreek, a guide to a well-behaved cockatoo. Flip through the pages. Turns out that there are so many different cockatoo species, and they all have behavioral problems. Flip through the pages. What about this guide to cockatoos, storekeeper?
It's a must-have if you own a cockatoo. I've heard they're quite capricious.
Steal the guide to cockatoos. You wait for the storekeeper to be distracted. When she's not looking, you haul the tome of cockatoos into your pocket. It's quite a challenge, but eventually the guide to cockatoos is yours. Splendid effort. Look, the money is very tight right now. The plaque on the shelf reads biographies of famous people. You see a large variety of names, none of which ring a bell. Storekeep, anything a note in this shelf?
I would say The Greatest Innocence. Yes, most certainly. It's an important educational tool, delving into the depths of history, religion, and their relation to innocentic power.
Boy, I'm going to end up using another magnesium in this conversation, aren't I? Who or what is an innocence?
A very influential historical figure. But surely I don't have to tell you that. You're a law officer, and law officers have at least some education. The book is also very daring. The author aims to re-examine the universal understandings of the innocentic system, creating a fresh vantage point and a shift in the tired order of things.
I thought it was about which of these innocences is the coolest and greatest.
Perhaps for a layman, deep analysis is necessary to peel back the multi-layered meanings.
Do her words seem vague and abstract to you? So you recommend it?
Certainly. It's prudent for a person to have at least an elementary understanding of history and society. Imagine the chaos we'd be in otherwise.
You feel like you should get this one. Definitely. It's important somehow. There's something personal inside. Browsing through all the books with all their names makes your head spin. None of these seem important or relevant. It's all just vapid egoism. Suddenly, a particularly odd title catches your eye. It reads, High Speed Love, the tragic true love story of Jacob Irwa and Alfie Delatraz by one Cecilia Averbrook. What's it about? High Speed Love chronicles the romance between two of the finest tip-top tournée racers in history. One of them is the madcap driver, Jacob Irwa. His blonde mane graces the cover. Next to Irwa's life story, you see a slim biography of an Occidental rock star called the Anti-Star. He's famous for shooting morphine into one of his eyeballs and cocaine into the other. Next to that, Revacholian radio personality Guillaume Bevy stands in front of a run-down drug den. He's a permanent fixture on Channel 8, reporting on real-life crime and ruining cops' days.
I really must insist you buy one of the books. Reading them is not for free. Do still browse, though, but not too long. I'm sorry, I did not mean to rush you. You are browsing. Go ahead. Take your time. Time is commerce.
I'm going to buy the Greatest Innocence book. I have the money for it.
A true cultural touchstone. Enjoy the read.
Leave. Maybe I'll regret it later. Another boring book. Just discarded here. This bookstore is not strictly about crime, romance, and biographies of famous people. There's also a wide range of paranatural literature. Storekeep, what books are these?
Sir, please, no browsing in that shelf. That wisdom is not for free. I can't have you end up, like, opening a police store next door and stealing my customers. Oh no!
Look through the shelf. Amidst the various books, you find one written by someone named Matthias W. Dundas. It's about wholeness, unity, balance. The point of the book, and many others on this shelf, is to give people medicinal advice in situations where they don't have access to paid health services. How does that work? It serves platitudes while also telling everyone that traditional medicine, the kind people don't have access to and which costs more than this book, is garbage and would only give you cancer anyway, without even curing your cold or anything. Wholeness, unity, balance, on the other hand, can basically take care of anything, though it is important to note. When it's up to your mind to heal yourself, then it's because of your mind that you're ill in the first place. It's your own fault if you're ill. Got it? Does the book say anything else? The book features chapters on topics such as how to find magnesium, even list plants you can harvest magnesium from, how to continue drinking if you're an alcoholic who has destroyed his liver, and there's even a chapter on the ancient Ceres tradition of using duck gallbladder, preservatives, to treat and prevent sexually transmitted diseases. Pre and post factum apply. Nothing worth buying. This is just mundane garbage. What's even paranatural about this? Find something truly otherworldly. You sense something ominous emanating from the shelf, but it lacks form and substance, and soon enough, you lose track of it. Well, fuck that. My cap on Inland Empire is so fucking high. Let's get fucking weird. I love seeing the odds before you roll. Well, probably gonna pass that one, huh? The throbbing in your head increases with every passing moment you gaze at this shelf. Suddenly, as if out of nowhere, a small green book becomes apparent. The title of it reads, Medicinal Purposes of the Pale. What's the pale? The book contains very little explanation on the matter. This knowledge seems to be taken for granted. What's this book about? The book contains descriptions of various pseudoscientific therapies, alternative medicines, and folk remedies involving the pale, also known as le territoire. For example, and I don't speak French, by the way. For example, it recommends vigorously swatting one's naked body with a venic, or hand broom, made from the leafy twigs of a young birch tree from the near pale. Even better if you can find someone else, preferably a large man dressed in nothing but a towel, to thrash you while you're spread naked and helpless on a cool slab. Sounds invigorating. It is, and good for the circulation too. What else? It also recommends consuming distilled spirits like vodka or whiskey that have been aged in the pail. Readers are instructed to cover these jars in a shallow hole just inside the pail and leave them there for 30 to 60 days, depending on the potency desired. And what does this pale-aged liquor do? Among other benefits, it is alleged to restore a damaged liver to perfect health. I should probably get my hands on some of that. What else is in there? For general health and well-being, readers are encouraged to take regular strolls through the pale, though a sidebar cautions readers to limit each stroll to less than an hour. These strolls promise to cleanse the mind of worries and the body of toxins, especially if the perambulator performs this ritual in the nude. Nudity figures prominently in a number of these prescriptions. This is exactly what you need. I don't know. I don't want to be the party pooper, but this pale territory sounds sort of dangerous. Maybe you shouldn't walk in it naked. Anything else of note? There's an entire section devoted to cures for men who are struggling to perform their marital obligations. I probably need that.
Excuse me, sir. I believe you've been perusing that particular volume long enough. If you'd like to continue reading, I must insist you buy it.
Leave. Several maps have been attached to a bulletin board hidden inside the alcove. They're held up by small pins. The board has come loose from one corner. The maps look old and faded. FYI, that is the first time, other than talking to the Pale driver, that we've heard about the Pale. Your eye catches a map of Insulinde, a map of Revachol, and a map of Martinez. Look at the map of Insulinde. This large map displays archipelagos. You see a constellation of small dots on the light blue emptiness of the Insulindic Ocean. The largest, in the northeast, is La Caillou. You were here. Another, far away in the southwest, Simonese Islands, Ile du Fantôme. What else? Ozon, Laurentide, Face de la Mer, Archipelagos, North Arcade Islands, all just specks of dust on the vastness of the Insulindic. On the edges of the map, the color fades into a blur of dotted lines, black and white. In the northeast, a dust mite stands on the north coast of Caillou, in a bookstore. It's you. Radiating outwards from you, the suzerain Revachol, with a radius of 80 kilometers, still, the crown jewel of this isla would be barely visible. Squint first. Can you see cities on the islands? You can. On Caillou, Revachol, a single black star. On Ozon, Fond de la Air and Vermando. On Archipelagos, Croyant Maran, Villers. On Seminine, Olduvai. And on Laurentide, Diora of the Seven Seas. Lost little pearls of light. Tiny fires in the dark. D2 should just be a fucking library. Look at the edges. The ocean breaks apart into a tangle of cosines and azimuths, all pointing into pale nothingness. Mundi is the north azimuth. Grad is the northeast azimuth. Samara is the east azimuth. Seol is the west azimuth. Islas, they're called. Connections to other worlds. Worlds past the Insulindian, unknown to you. You only know you've never been there. You have little idea what they are. Distant stars, gods, but looking at them makes you feel almost non-existent. Whatever they are, the Islas are immeasurably large compared to you, and very, very far away. Perhaps they are gods. Gods of distance and outer dust. Look at the map of Revachol. The north coast of a verdant island is shattered by the delta of a river. It is the River Esperance. Countless bridges put the shards back together, connecting city blocks to river islands. La Delta says a great artificial heart in the center, teeming with life forms and construction. To the east, rolling hillsides, Les Jardins, Stella Maris, the suburbs of Saint-Baptiste, swallowed up into the megacity. They sound rich to you. This is Revachol East. And west of the river? Coron. It's somewhere to live. Not bad. Then there's Jamrock. It is bad. People shouldn't live there, but they do. Then Faubourg. It's almost as bad and much larger. Then Coal City. It's the worst. And Martinez? It's so small you can't even see it on the map. No, wait, there it is. North of Jamrock, the strip of coast next to the greater Revachol Industrial Harbor. It looks downright despondent. It's almost Coal City, to be honest. No, Coal City is worse. A charred limb. Rain falls on its slick-back streets. And then there's the burnout quarter in the heart of Jamrock. Is it cold in this bookstore? Or is it just you? Look at the map of Martinez. This is a good little spot for shivers, isn't it? It's not really a map, it's a tourist thing. A picture postcard with buildings on it, drawn from an isometric perspective. A date in the upper right corner says 48. Still, it's detailed. Could be pretty useful for scouting ahead. You see the jagged boxes of an industrial harbor, even the whirling in rags there. Storekeep, can I buy these maps?
I'm sorry, officer. The map of Martinez is the only one available. The other two are not for sale anymore. And besides, you could scarcely afford them. They're quite valuable, though they might not look it. The map of Martinez is 90 cents, though.
Why is the one of Martinez so cheap?
That old thing. It's an out-of-date map of a tourist location that never was nor came to be. From when some design studio people tried to spruce the place up 4 or 5 years ago. They also renovated the horse statue, set up those coin-operated viewers, and designed the new street lamps.
What happened then?
They didn't get that far, for some reason. A shame the project never got going. Would be nice if someone fixed Martinez up. All these ruins are bad for business.
I'm gonna just buy the map. It's 90 cents.
Always good to be informed of your surroundings.
Okay. So, last things we're gonna do. I'm not gonna talk to her, and I'm not gonna mess around with that door. I want Kim there for that stuff, because there's some good shit there. That'll be next time. I am going to read. Of course, now I'm back below, slightly below. Let's go to the pawn shop. Real fast. I should be able to pawn something, I think, to get. Oh, hello. A sewer grate. A gateway to the river of filth. Maybe the handkerchief? I've picked up, like, all the tear already. Like, literally, I do need just, like, 2 bottles worth of tear. But we'll look around.
Hello, hello. Let me know if I can help you with anything.
By the way, do you happen to have any guns like the ones carried by officers of the citizens' militia?
Someone else came here earlier today asking the same question. I promptly sold her the gun you pawned a couple days back.
What? Sold? Wait, I sold you my gun?
You were adamant about getting rid of it, officer. Said you were undeserving of a service weapon of the Revachol Citizens Militia. And I don't like keeping guns around the shop for long. Off the charts photon emissions. The unhealthy kind.
He's not telling you the whole story. It seems he's trying to spare you. I feel like there's something you're not telling me.
You weren't quite yourself, officer.
What was I like?
You were very distraught. You said the gun was a threat to your life and that you can't trust yourself with it tonight. And that you need the money. When I said that I don't normally buy firearms, you put the gun barrel in your mouth and sort of sucked on it. Then I agreed to take it.
You sucked on a gun? Good. Good. Very normal. I really should have killed myself. Maybe I still will one of these days. How much did I sell the gun for?
15 real.
Happens to the best of us, I guess.
It certainly does. Especially in Revachol.
Was the buyer a policeman too?
She didn't seem like a policeman. Although she kept referring to herself as a pig. Which was odd. I found her interest in the gun a bit obsessive. But I was just happy to get rid of it. And of her.
Yeah, much love to you, puppy. I'm sorry that you went through that. I've been through some dark nights of the soul myself.
Truth be told, she was terrifying.
Gotta be Kuno-ass, right? You gotta help me find her, man.
I wish I could help with that, officer. But I don't know where she was from or where she was going.
Any idea where I can find this buyer?
My apology.
A needle in a haystack. There's nothing you can do about it right now. You'll just have to hope Everett wasn't lying and the Union can track her down in time. Have people from Everett Clare's Union come here to track that gun?
Maybe. Shady-looking guys came in here yesterday, looking like they'd just taken off their Wild Pines overalls. They asked if I have a police weapon to sell. I told them I already sold it. They went their way. It was a trip, but you know, all sorts of people come here, asking for all sorts of things.
At least now I know how I lost my sidearm. Let's talk about something else.
Of course.
Do you have any recordings of the Col de Mamadakwa?
The Col de Mamadakwa? Sorry, I would never have guessed that you were that interested in ultrasonic sounds. Or birds, for that matter.
I have hobbies, just like normal people. Because I'm a normal person.
Oh, I didn't mean to imply otherwise. Well, it's been a while since I've gone hunting for the Col de Mamadakwa myself. Once knew a group of young musicians who decided they didn't want to play music anymore, and started looking for all kinds of interesting sounds instead. This was before, you know, lost touch with them after all of that.
That sounds so cool.
Cool or not, one of them was obsessed with recording the Col de Mamadakwa. And he was one of those passionate people who know a lot about all kinds of strange things. So he got the rest of us to join in his search.
And did you ever find it?
We thought we did. We got together all these recordings of unusual sound patterns, compared them, cut them up and combined them into the Symphonia Col de Mamadakwa.
Can I listen to it?
Unfortunately, I don't have any recordings from my old life. None at all. But I do have a tape with some ultrasonic sounds that might be what you're looking for.
Yes, it is absolutely necessary for my research.
This recording comes from down the coast. Wasn't looking to record anything specific. Just left a recording device there one morning. Keep in mind, I have to slow this one down enough to make sounds well over 200 kilohertz audible to the human ear. It will be strange.
He switches on the tape player. The speakers begin to emit a low hum. As the hum grows louder, modulating, but always unnaturally, uncomfortably low, like it's coming not from the speakers, but also from inside your chest. Breathing is becoming difficult. That's an illusion. Your breathing is just as it was and will remain that way unless you start panicking. There's a growing sense of dread. The sound is coming from inside you, but also surrounding you. It feels as though someone is standing just outside your range of vision and watching you, doing this to you. He nods to you reassuringly, just as more diverse, higher-pitched sounds, some random, some appearing to form patterns, hit your eardrums. What's that?
Gulls and skewers. But
he raises a pointer finger and inclines his head toward the speakers. A new, very high-pitched, shivering sound emerges amidst the others. The low range of sounds is easier to handle with a focal point, but still troubling. You are mesmerized by the sounds, but also feel nausea welling up as the motif continues, then begins to recede, dissolving in what must be the sound of water lapping at the bank.
You know, now that I've listened to it on these new speakers, it's not the cold Mamadakwa. Wrong patterns, wrong photons. Probably some insect trying to sing higher than its predators can hear. Still, fascinating, aren't they?
Yep.
Early morning sounds.
Yep, have a good night. Yes, okay, fine. Shit does suck.
Sure, let me have a look.
Can I really? I'll check my pockets. There we go. I have a fascinating photo of a corpse here. Can I sell my clothes?
I'm not purchasing any more clothing at the moment.
He looks you up and down quickly.
And especially that tie. It swallows photons around it. I have no need for necrotic objects.
Your mother is a necrotic object! I'm fun! Look at me sparking in the light of the projector!
I'll check my pockets.
Anything else you're thinking of selling?
Lieutenant's handkerchief. Absolutely pawn that. These postcards. Absolutely pawn the postcards. Feels like I shouldn't sell the photo of the happy couple, because might be able to, but there we go.
Another time, perhaps.
Okay, we're going to do one more little interaction and then call it a night. We are going to read the Cockatoo book and then talk to the woman. And that'll be a good little ending point for tonight's stream, which has gone far too long on account of I fucking love Disco Elysium. And playing it makes me happy. Luckily, my stomach is starting to get upset, and that is imposing a natural time limit on these things. So let's see. Tools. Interact. There we go. Interact. A cockatoo is a parrot with an erectile crest, found on the Seminine Islands and in southern Faisalamar. Known for their intelligence and general precociousness, cockatoos are popular birds in aviculture. However, they often exhibit various behavioral issues. Okay, one more. This book talks about the delicate nature of toos, as well as introducing some of the most popular species among the bird enthusiasts: the funeral cockatoo, the major majestic cockatoo, and the most common bang-bang cockatoo. It's colorfully illustrated. All right, what problems do these birds have? Where to even begin? All cockatoos are known for their needy natures, requiring attention for at least 2 full hours a day. I used to live with a cockatoo. I can... yes, that is very true. They love to talk and have been described as lovable clowns who just don't know how to wrap up. I can handle that. It'd be nice to have someone to talk to when feeling lonely. Pet owners also report moodiness, loudness, and hostility as recurring issues. If left unsatisfied, cockatoos may scream nonstop, pluck their feathers, or become aggressive. Right, that's pretty bad. Anything else? It is not recommended to get a cockatoo if you're not able to cook them food every day and give them the full care that they need. These birds will never understand that you have a life of your own. Yes, but there has to be something great about cockatoos as well. You're right, cockatoos are magnificent creatures. They love to perform, cuddle, and show off, and will even scream for fun, often as loud as up to 135 decibels. God, I do not miss living with birds. I lived with a parrot, a cockatoo, and I can't remember what the third bird was. Canary, I think? They were very loud. Read about the funeral cockatoo. I assume that the parrot coconut is still alive and well because they lived for 1,000,000 years. This is a yellow-tailed black cockatoo. Its specific name, Psittacus funereus, relates to its dark and somber plumage. This bird looks as if dressed for a funeral 24/7. There's something indisputably ominous about it. Cool. Thanks, Inland Empire. Read about the major majestic cockatoo. Perhaps the most impressive of all the species, the endangered major majestic cockatoo is often described as the most flamboyant bird in the jungle, its pink-colored wings and flowing crest embellishing its proud and bumptious nature. In the words of poet-explorer Sir James Fournier, few birds more enliven the monotonous hues of the verdant forest than this big, bold, and beautiful species. Read about the most common bang-bang cockatoo. Despite its banging name, the bang-bang cockatoo is actually the shyest of the species. Common in almost all Siamese forests, as well as zoos and homes all over the world, its plumage is mainly gray and white. The Siamese name bang-bang is thought to be of onomatopoeic origins. Honestly, this bird does sound a bit like me. Yes, but all these cockatoo species are so different. Which one are you? What if I'm just a fuck-up-a-two? A fuck-up and a cockatoo. You're right. You're a fuckatoo embodied. This sorry-ass bird belongs on your heraldry. It probably doesn't even have feathers and only screams. You were right that I'm a cockatoo.
Excuse me?
I went and read up on them, just like you said, and I even decided on what kind of cockatoo I am. Want to know?
I don't know. The most talkative one?
No. I'm the fuck-up-a-two.
The what now?
The fuck-up-a-two. It's the one who always fucks everything up.
No, you're not. Don't think that way. You're just a regular talkative cockatoo. And let's leave it at that, okay?
She doesn't want you to be the fuck-up-a-two. Maybe your husband's missing?
My husband? I don't know. Yeah, no. Why are we still talking?
Hush, baby.
What?
No, I was talking to myself. I should hush. I'm a baby. She tries to concentrate on books, but her eyes are full of bewilderment. Okay, maybe it's something else then. That's all for the moment. I'll let you read. The woman before you nods and returns to her reading. And that is where we will stop for the evening. We'll be back on Friday playing Fortnite. Friday and Saturday will be a Fortnite night. And then Sunday we will be back in Martinez for another night of Disco Elysium. I am trying to remember how to get to the bit where I hug that woman because it's one of the best bits in the whole game. Yeah, I will see everybody on Friday at 8 p.m. Pacific. Thank you for a lovely stream. These streams keep my brain alive, and thank you for them. All right, now Alt-Tab. Alt-Tab! Damn it, game. Alt-Tab! I can't turn off OBS without Alt-Tabbing. There we go. That was close, y'all.